Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 554 of the DrunkNerds podcast. As always, I'm Tyler, and join me, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
Well, I'll tell you what. After this work week, I'm actually pretty freaking excited that I can get the chance to play a bit more, not only of Tears of the Kingdom and also of Street Fighter 6. Man, do I feel like I want to play some more stuff. Other than that, though, I mean, just kind of the usual type of work week and stuff. Just a lot of crazy stuff. Boss has been out of town, so tried to look after the store while simultaneously stop it from burning to the ground. But yeah, man. So how about you, man?
Uh, not clanging and banging this week, Gables. It was a
Yeah.
rough work week. You know, it was fine. It was like, oh, it's finally the weekend's here. It's been a long week. It's been miserable. It's hot. Long hours. I was like, man, I just want to play some Zelda. 50. I played a bunch Saturday or over the weekend. It was like 50 hours in. Finally started doing some story stuff. Didn't have any time during the work week, and then
Mm.
started playing. Was like 20 minutes into it. Got one of the worst phone calls of my life. I got my found out that um 1 second. Um one of my parents' dog Gunner, English bulldog. He's 5. Yeah, found out he has cancer. Um, when we got a few months with him. Uh, So anyway, sorry. Uh, been a rough day. So been kind of over there all day. I've only been
Understandable.
home for really a little bit, and then I hopped on here with Gables. So I wanted to do the show this week because I love doing the show, and it's kind of a nice little breakaway. Sorry for everybody for crying. But it's been a rough week, rough day. One of the worst days ever. They always talk about cancer affects everybody, and I've been
Yeah.
I guess lucky in that sense of like I know people that have had cancer. I've had great grandparents get cancer, but like they were 90. I'm not trying to compare people to dogs here, but in my family we love our to us our dogs are like our kids. Louis is my son, and yeah, and Gunner is my dad's other son, and um, yeah, so it's been a pretty rough day. But yeah. Anyways, we're here to like I said, I love doing the show. It's nice to it's been nice to bullshit with you for the last 45 minutes or so. Kind of
Yeah.
forgetting about it and just kind of talk about something we love, and that's video games, and that's what we're here to do this. So do you like well, other than me crying, if you if you're a fan of video games or whatever, Gibbles and I get together every week talk about video games, and we're going into a big time here, where we are this Thursday is Summer Game Fest, and
Yeah.
then the following Sunday is Xbox. That Monday after is the Ubisoft Forward. So we got a lot of big stuff going on. Right now, tentatively, we are planned to do live reactions to those, but I cannot commit with everything going on right now. I don't want to
Hmm.
commit to anything, but we will at least be doing typically every week, every year for usually E3. Gables and I will well, at the very least come together that night and then like talk about what happened at the show. So at the very least, we'll do that. We'll do those regardless. But as far as a live reaction, cannot guarantee that. But if you want to know, you want to see all those things, you want to watch those things, please look down the show notes down below. Like, follow, subscribes. Facebook, Twitter. I will post on Twitter with an update as far as like what the plan is. And I told Gables I'll kind of let him know uh, this weekend. I'll try to post on Twitter this weekend what the
Okay.
plan is, and yeah, we're gonna play it by ear. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of what's going on with us for this coming well for that next week. But also Gables and I on this episode here 554 we will be doing normal show for the most part. We'll talk about what we've been playing, some of the news this week. Not a lot of news this week. I thought there'd be a lot more like leaks and rumors and stuff going on, but really hasn't been. Um, like
No.
some stuff is kind of leaked, but not like a lot of it's really just been people saying what's going to be there at some of these shows. So on this episode, we're going to go through um, some of like our kind of what we think might be there for our kind of predictions for Summer Game Fest, and then Gables and I right after this are going to record an episode with the predictions for the Xbox showcase, and then that'll be coming out in a couple days, and then we're also going to record an episode for the Ubisoft Forward, our predictions for that. Kind of just run down kind of what everybody's got, like all the games they got cooking right now, and kind of go through those, and yeah, kind of give our thoughts, opinions on what could be there. So um, that is a plan for now. So I think the Xbox One will be out on Tuesday, and then the Ubisoft one will be out on Wednesday. Is the plan. Um, so yeah, so those will be going up as podcasts. But if you want to watch us, record it. Well, not watch us as we record it, but watch the video version. Please, subscribe, like, follow on YouTube, all that, and then same on podcast services, Apple, Spotify. We're pretty much on every podcasting service out there that I know of. But if there's any that we're not on that you want us to be on, please hit me up and I'll set us up on there. But like I said, look down on the links in our show notes, and we have time codes and we have the links to all of those services. But Gables, without further
Yes.
ado, let's get into some news. How about that, buddy?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
All
Let's
right.
dig in.
Yep. All right. Let's do it right now. Time code here. Gables, it finally
Hmm.
happened, and I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Switch, or everybody loves Switch. Everybody's 1-2 Switch. Sorry, officially announced. So for people that don't know, um, Imran Khan from formerly of Fanbyte leaked this game last June 7th, so almost a year
Hmm.
to the day of him leaking it. Uh,
Absolutely.
they Nintendo with like the laziest tweets ever, just saying everybody's or everyone's, I can't remember now. 1-2 Switch is out June 30th, and it was just like that's all the tweet was. And then it's up on you can pre-order it on the eShop, and it's also, I guess, they're doing physical copies of this. I was listening, so
Yeah.
Imran Khan was talking about this actually. He's on the Kind of Funny podcast because he wanted the Kind of Funny Games Daily podcast because he wanted to like kind of celebrate the fact that he had this right. And I was listening to him because I just wanted some more insight on this. And he said that they actually last year, because they did the play, so all this like this game leaked from playtesting, and
Yes.
he mentioned that because the game was so bad that people were coming to. He's like, normally when you like try to like find information on the game and you write an article about and leak something or whatever. Um, Usually you got to go find that stuff and knock on doors. Not literally, but go knock on doors and like figure out what's going on. He's like, this is one of the few times in my career that somebody came to me, like people were coming to me telling about this game that like they could not believe they were working on or playtesting. Like that's the kind of situation he was talking about. But what was funny is he
Huh.
was talking about they actually like they just thought the playtest would be fine, and like they had already made the cases for the physical cases for this game, but not
Hmm.
the cartridges yet. And but the cases just sat there forever. That they turned most of those
That's
cases
crazy.
into Zelda Tears of the Kingdom cases. So yeah,
What?
so because the game just sat for so long, they wanted to just get rid of the cases, so that's what they did. So I imagine it's like honestly, we always talk about like buying those like weird like games that don't get a huge physical like release that might be worth money down the line.
Yeah.
This might be one of them. So if you want maybe to make some money in like 10 years, uh, this might be the Devil's Third of the Switch era. People, if you don't remember
Oh.
Devil's Third, it was a really shitty Wii U game that was so bad that
Hmm.
nobody. It was basically the same situation. Nintendo hired a team to make this game, uh, and
It's actually the creator of. I think it was like the creator of like Ninja Gaiden
oh,
or some of the
maybe you're right.
Itagaki.
Yeah, but it was off. It
Devil's
was
Third.
awful, and they originally weren't gonna do a physical release. I think, or no, I think originally it wasn't gonna come in the United States or something. There was something weird going on, but then
Yeah.
like people like got loud enough that they actually released it. They did but they did like a small release physically. And like if you own a
Hmm.
copy, like it like instantly is actually like not like worth hundreds of dollars, but like it's worth more than what the game was, like a decent chunk more than what the game came out.
Yeah. It's climbing in cost
Yeah,
still.
so it's definitely if you have like a wrap copy of one of those games. I think Justin has one, my best friend, and I'm like, man, like you might be able to put your kids through college with that game one of these days. Um, but yeah, so people don't know, like, so it's like it is basically like what was that, a Jackbox Party Pack kind of game. Like it's basically like if Nintendo made that, like they have like spin the bottle, but you have to like compliment the other person, and like you use like your phones and Joy Cons to join in the game. So it's for a bunch of people. Um, but yeah, so it's coming out June 30th. It's gonna be $30. So I want to go through some of the stuff from
Yeah.
the article again, because it's absolutely hilarious. Um, so I'm going to kind of like spruce some of this here. So this is from Imran Khan from last year. He said the information presented in this article is gathered from multiple sources with knowledge of the product in question. While the sources are presented and published story as anonymous, blah blah. Blah. Okay, let me get to the uh, let's get to the sum here. Uh, Sorry, I meant to proofread this, but I just didn't have the time today. Um, so the title, which sources say settled on everybody's 1-2 switch at one point, went through a few variations of development, struggled with a core question: how exactly do you make a sequel to 1-2 switch? The obvious answer was simply to add more mini games, as other iterative party titles had done, but they also wanted to release a title that didn't render the first game moot and stop it from selling. Which I mean, it was a Switch launch game. I don't think many people are buying it nowadays. Um,
Mm.
the inspiration instead came from Jackbox Games developers Jackbox Party Pack. That's hard to say for some reason. Uh, so like they have like Fibbage, Quiplash, and you don't know Jack stuff like that. Um, so they wanted to kind of make that party game for everybody. They
Right.
established on a game show like theme with a host and more participants, as opposed to the original game setup of having two users with a Joy-Con, each going up against each other. Everybody's one-two switch had many more players at once with the use of the smartphones. The game could have lobbies as big as 100 people. Uh, so that's where the name came from. Everybody's 1-2 switch. The idea on paper was solid. Um, it was being designed by the Nintendo EPD Group 4. Um, they designed a host for the minigames based on the international appeal, a bipedal horse that looks like a man wearing a rubber horse mask. The
Mm-hmm.
game's text simply referred to him as horse because it sounded enough like the English word host that it would come across in different uh, I'm sorry, I lost my spot here. It would come across in different languages. Minigames would ask players to physically move around the environment for things like musical chairs or use their phone to play bingo. There was even a game that resembled a virtual version of Spin the Bottle that involved saying something nice about the other person. It tested horribly. When playtesting groups received the game, the feedback to the development team was brutal. Um, the target audience Nintendo was hoping to hit families with children found the game boring. Many didn't even want to play the game. Sorry, many didn't even want to play the game through entire rounds. In the bingo example, one player would use a Joy-Con to mime digging out a number before reading it off the TV screen, a process the playtesters reported as tedious. The main mode of the game, the team battle mode, pit at least two teams of players against each other in various minigames. This mode prominently featured Horse, who would give color commentary during the games. During the localization process, sources started calling the game horse shit as shorthand.
Oh man.
Oh my god. It is important to note that this is not uncommon for a game. Some projects test badly and then get quietly shelved or reworked. It happens far more often than people know. And under normal circumstances, this is likely what would have happened, and no one would have been the wiser. But no one expected everybody's 1-2 switch to test quite as badly as it did. Different trusted employees within Nintendo were raising alarms at the game release. The game release, as is, would damage the company's reputation as a great software developer. Presuming that the extra development would not be a problem, Nintendo went ahead with other publisher duties on the game, like printing the cover art and placing it in requisite cases for retail release. Per sources, there's still a large number of empty game boxes for the title, just sitting and waiting for a game with no current release date. Uh, yeah, so there was like I remember when this came out, a lot of people were like maybe they like just put it on. There was some discussion about just putting on the Nintendo expansion pack type of thing as a free game. Um,
Right.
because like they wanted to sell this thing for $60. So this sounds like the middle ground of like, well, we can't sell it. If we sell it for 60, no one's gonna buy it. Um, and you know, it would probably be worse if it was 60. If you put it on eShop, for like honestly, it's free, but more people will play it. So it's like it's one of those things where like maybe we
Mm.
just sell it, make some money back on this thing, and then uh, yeah, just make some money back on it. It's gonna be $30. We're just gonna throw it out there. Not a lot of people are gonna buy it. Maybe we get a few 100,000 copies bought, and it's just not a big deal. Uh, maybe there's gonna be people like us that talk about this game. There's gonna be people like content creators doing like Twitch streams or a fun stream out of this thing. Uh, I could see like Game Grumps doing a fun thing out of this or something. Um, but yeah, I think this is maybe like honestly like I think it's shitty if they're gonna charge money for this game that's apparently
Mm.
terrible. But like I could see their line of thinking is like if we put this out for free, millions of people are going to play this thing, and it's going to be even bigger because of that. So if we just charge a minimal amount of money for this thing, like we can make some, and less people are going to buy it. So I don't know, Gables. How many copies do you pre-order?
Well, for right now, I haven't pre-ordered anything in that regards, but I will say it's awfully telling that Nintendo announces everybody's one-two switch, but there's no trailer at
Yeah, that's
all
a good
for this
point. Yeah,
game.
there's no screenshots,
That was
nothing.
one thing that initially kind of caught me off guard about it because it's like normally when Nintendo like showcases any game like on their YouTube page or like
Not
on
even
their Twitter
Nintendo,
stuff.
just anybody. There's a
Yeah,
trailer,
exactly.
something.
And it just was really surprising. I mean, I'm very surprised that they announced a first party game and they had no initial trailer for it. It was just basically out of the blue, just randomly just dropped it on there, with little thought or something like that. That gives me like the impression that they know this game is not going to go
Yeah,
well, so they're going to just say, okay, this is out here. This is at the end of the month. Hey, if you want to buy it for $30, here you go.
yeah,
But yeah, just because of a bunch of the playtesting stuff, like what Imran Khan was going through and saying last year from his initial write up and stuff, it's going to be kind of fascinating to see how this game is in motion.
yeah. I can't wait.
What's the gameplay for this game? I mean, what's going to go on here? I think Nintendo inadvertently is going to make this game a bit bigger than what it should be because now that this is going to be out there, people are going to want to try out this game because they have not seen any type of footage.
Yeah,
There's nothing else. They know it's going to be releasing at the tail end of this month. It's $30, so it's super cheap to go and do this. And there's going to be more people now wanting to try out this game just to see if this thing is shit or if this thing is something into actually somewhat decent. But it's really funny that Nintendo is doing something like this because I more or less would attend this to like say other companies will if they're not confident inside of a game, they just either shadow drop the game directly or they just go and like just there's little to no advertisement of this.
yeah,
We've heard nothing about this sequel up until not even a month before it comes
yeah.
out.
Less than 30 days. Yeah, it's like, um, yeah, it's wild. Like you said, there's no trailer. It was just a tweet. Like like
Mhm.
very little fanfare. Like it's like you think about like some of the least like advertised games ever put out was like the Paper Mario game that came out in 2020 and like Pikmin 3 Deluxe, but like that was because they didn't have any directs and it was COVID, so they didn't have like anything. Like it was just they just put out it was only a tweet, but they put it on their YouTube channel a trailer when they announced it, and that was the thing. And then there was some more stuff. There was some more like gameplay stuff up to it. So like, but it was like at least
Right.
like it was a few months out, so there's like some time to build some anticipation for those games. But like this is like yeah, like literally it's just a cover art with a bunch of people and then a dude in a tuxedo with a horse hat on. Like that's the game. Um,
It almost looks like a various like a spoof, like not like a very spoof, but it just looks like something that's like a meme in and of itself because the reveal of the box art of this damn thing is just basically like people having phones, people having their switches, and all of a sudden a dude in a horse mask like right in the
yeah,
center.
but I think you make a great point there, Gables. With this game might sell better because of people like us. Like you said, like I don't think this game is going to be like a mass audience success. Like, but I
No.
think there's the people like us that know the rumors, or well now know for fact that this game was real, and know that this game is supposed to be terrible. That people will buy it now because they heard how terrible it is. I think like
Absolutely.
in our audience and like I said, the content creators as a joke will buy this game to make content out of it for how bad it is. And I think that's where a
Hmm.
good chunk of the sales will come from. Like I mean, obviously people like casuals will buy it
Exactly.
too, but yeah, it's like I mean, we have a few weeks to like before like it comes out. Maybe we'll do some more I can't.
Publicity.
God damn, I can't talk. Uh, so I cannot say that word. Yeah, we have a few weeks before they start doing like before that comes out. Maybe we get some trailers, maybe we get some stuff here and there. But yeah, I would not be shocked if this is like. It's weird because like yeah, they definitely want to make some money off of it, but it's like also we don't want people to know we made this game. It is. I don't know if I've
Yeah.
ever seen a game like this before where like it's like we know this game
No.
like like when like Redfall was not good, like it sucked, but like they at least like gave that game a good push coming up to it. Like they advertised like before it came out.
They at least gave it some
Yeah, they gave us
trailers.
trailers, like they gave us some hype and everything like that. And that game just turned out badly, but it's like this is just like we are
Dude,
ashamed of ourselves, but we still want to make some money.
even the people that created the Gollum game had more
Yeah,
advertisement than say this everybody's want to Switch, and that's one of the worst
it is the
games releases of the
it is the
year.
lowest rated game of the year. Yes. Uh,
Yeah, it's got a 39 on
yeah.
OpenCritic, I think.
But it's like honestly, maybe they should have just done the Nintendo tactic here with just posting the box art and just hoping that no, because like we all knew it was gonna be bad because we can see the gameplay. So maybe like like fuck if only they knew the Nintendo playbook here, everybody's 1-2 switch. They kind of like fuck. We could have just not
Oh
shown them
boy.
gameplay and then charged them $70 for it. Maybe we would have made more money. I don't know. Uh, yeah, fucking wild, man. I love video games. They're so cool. Uh, but let's get into let's go to the next topic here, Gables. Let's get into some one of my favorite things of the month we do, and that is some MPDs.
Mm.
So yeah, this is actually for April. It's been kind of sitting in our show notes for a couple weeks now because of stuff. We had the Poster Showcase announced a couple weeks ago, and then we actually talked about all the stuff in there from last week. So we're getting into it here. Here, Gibbs. I'll do a share screen for you so you can see it, my friend. Uh, so bam. All right. All right. So this is all
There you
from
go.
April. The numbers on this, I believe, ended on April 30th. So basically, it was a
Okay.
full month. Sometimes it might trickle in a couple days into the following month or get cut off at the end of the month. So this actually was the full month. So some of the stuff here, number 20. Oh, there was the Mario sales going on in April. Remember that
Yep.
they're selling for like $40. So um, jumping into the top 20 here from 26 prior month. So not a major jump, but a jump. Uh, Mario 3D World, number 19. Madden NFL 23, big drop there from 9 the previous month. Number
Hmm.
18, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Number 17, Last of Us Part 1. Number 16, New Super Mario Brothers. That jumped from 23rd to 16, so getting back in there. Number 15 here, that's pretty cool. Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. That does not, remember,
Oh.
Nintendo does not include digital sales. Uh, and that game came out at the end of I think April 20th. I think is what it was.
Yes.
So only 10 days on the market and getting in there. So number 14 here, the Final Fantasy 1 through 6 bundle is on there. That does include digital. I wonder how that works though because you can buy the physical version came with all of them, but digitally you can buy them all separately. So I wonder how that worked. Uh, like did they like
Hmm.
count because this counts dollars, not individual copies sold. So I just wonder if like this counts people that just bought Final Fantasy, like say they just bought one, that counts towards it, I imagine. But anyways, here, number 13, as always, Minecraft. Number 12, still holding in strong there, Elden Ring. Number 11, Minecraft Legends. So that's pretty impressive for that came out I think like April 18th if I remember correctly. And
Yes.
that's a Game Pass game. So, but that is on. I believe that's on everything. So that could be that as well. Well, it's on PlayStation and PC. So number 10 here, holding in strong. Number 10, Mario Kart 8. Number 9, FIFA 16. Number 8, look at this, Gables. Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. I believe it's already sold over 1 million copies. Uh,
Oh yeah.
yeah, so doing really well there. Number 7, PGA Tour. Number 6, Hogwarts Legacy. Number 5, Modern Warfare 2. Number 4, Resident Evil 4. Number 3, MLB The Show 23. Number 2, shockingly, Dead Island 2. And number 1, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. No shock. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, I believe, is actually one of the top, I think it's like third for the year as of at the end of April.
Wow.
And that was only with 3 days on the market because that came on the 28th. So that's
No, that's impressive.
yeah, so that's. I mean, I'm not surprised it's like selling a lot. I'm surprised how quickly it sold really fast. Dead Island 2, I believe, has already sold over 2 million copies.
That's very
Yeah, that.
surprising. I was not expecting that game to perform that
Yeah,
well so
I don't think
soon.
anybody did. Like that's awesome. Like I said, the fact this game came out and was actually like good, and now it's like getting the sales too on top of it. Like that's awesome. I like it's like um, it's very rare that we see like something like this happen. We're like, like usually we can spot something shitty from a mile away. And the fact that like this game that we thought would be shit actually like surprised a lot of us. And then on top of that, you getting the financial support on is awesome for the sequel to a game from 2011. Uh, but a pretty cool list here. We got one, two, three, four, five, six, seven brand new games on here. But yeah, I don't know. I love the fact Star Wars #1. Like that's probably one of my favorite games of the year. Um, you know, the Mega Man's being #8 in its first month. That is awesome as well because I don't know. I'm surprised. Like that's more like Capcom has been killing it uh, across the board on all their stuff they've been doing. So
No shit.
this is kind of cool. Like I believe this is like there's 2 volumes, isn't there, Gables, or is it just one?
Well, that's the thing. If you buy it like physical retail or some, you get both of
Okay.
those like part one and part two as like complete for like $60. However, if you want to buy it digitally, you can buy them either as a bundle or individually.
Okay.
So you'll have the volume one that has a specific amount of the Battle Network games, and then volume two has the rest of them.
Okay. So that's cool to see that you know that's doing well. So maybe Gables they this if they're not already, maybe this shows hey people love Mega Man, so maybe,
No
maybe they start
shit.
making some more. But
That is highly surprising that the Mega Man Battle Network collection sold that well upon its launch, over like 1 million copies it looks like.
yeah,
And that's the thing, man. Even when those games came out in the Game Boy Advance and like the DS stuff respectively, I mean, they weren't like multitude like million sellers or anything else. They had obviously like modest sales, because they were Capcom games and stuff, Mega Man stuff. Mega Man still holds a bit of draw power and stuff from back then. But it's surprising that these obscure like Mega Man games sold that well.
yeah,
For
yeah. I mean, and
yeah,
these are like the GBA ones too, aren't they?
yeah,
Yeah,
the Game Boy Advance ones,
yeah.
yeah.
So these are I mean like the main ones. These are just the ones that were kind of on the they were just kind of on the GBA that a handheld console.
You know, there is one missed opportunity though. They could have released the port of the GameCube game.
Yeah, yeah. I'm shocked they haven't done that. Maybe they will eventually. Like maybe that's when they can know they can maybe like sell separately for like $20 or something like that.
I've heard that game is infamously hard as
Yes, I
well.
remember renting it, but I didn't know that Mega Man games were super hard, and it kicked the shit out of me. So yeah, I didn't know you're supposed to play it in a certain order. So I'm like, why is this game is so fucking hard? Like this is like it's based off a kid's anime. Why is it so hard? Uh, yeah. So you learn the hard way on that one. But I don't know. I'm happy to see like Advance Wars being in there. That's all. Like maybe this is like hopefully this sells well enough that maybe they like maybe we give us we come back to this because like I said I love those games. Played the one on DS. Love that one a lot. Um, I didn't play the second one on DS. That was like the realistic one. That was like really gritty and like I don't know. I'm shocked Nintendo made that game. So
Oh yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
Days of
Yeah,
Ruin.
Days of Ruin. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, anything else stand out to you on this one, Gables?
No, not
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. We got, like I said, like one, two, three, four, five, six, seven brand new games on this list. It's very rare that we get that, but April was a pretty good month for new releases. So, yeah, very cool. I'm curious to see kind of where we go with May with Zelda in there and kind of see where that one goes.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be very surprised that that game is not
Oh
number
yeah, no,
one.
it's gonna be #1, but I'm just kind of curious, like where like 6 months from now, where's that game looking like on the list? I want to see where Breath of the
Hmm.
Wild is. Maybe I want to see if that gets back in that top 20 list.
I'm pretty sure there is because there have been a good number of people up on my friends list on the Nintendo Switch to where they didn't play Breath of the Wild before, but all of a sudden when Tears of the Kingdom came out, they immediately started playing Breath of the Wild.
I mean, you've had 4 years since they announced a sequel.
I
So what the
know.
fuck are we doing here, people?
I know, right?
Um, yeah, but yeah, pretty cool month there. But Gables, let's get into the Summer Game Fest. Um,
All
so this is
right.
happening on Thursday, I believe at noon Pacific time. Let me double check that. Sorry, I did not do that today. 2023. Let me look at that. Does not have a time. You know what? You'll figure it out yourself, people. Uh, some of the stuff that we know is going to be there. We got Mortal Kombat 1. We're gonna have some real gameplay there.
All
They said
right.
Alan Wake 2 will have some uncut gameplay. So
Okay.
no idea how long it's going to be. Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty is going to be there, so I'm assuming we'll see some
Okay.
gameplay. That I think that's really all we know right now. I've not been online today, so I don't know if anything else has come out about this. But couple things I had written down here, Gables, that may or may not be there, but Replaced, which is that really awesome looking indie game that was
Mm.
at the it's supposed to be at last year's Summer Game Fest. It's actually supposed to be, it's a Game Pass game as well. It's supposed to be at last year's, but he talked about it that they're a Ukraine-based studio, and that everything obviously everything going on there was not able to um, have a trailer ready at that point in time. And this is one of those games that was also on like the 12-month thing from Xbox last year. Obviously, it does not mean. Well, I guess they got another 3 more weeks here, 4 more weeks, so it's possible. But obviously, everything going there, take your time, shit like that. But I was thinking maybe that could be there. Maybe they want to do a make good for Jeff Keighley, but I can also see him saving it for Xbox. And then the other thing I kind of written down here, Final Fantasy 16 demo. Do you think it's here?
I really do think it's here.
Yeah,
I really do think it's here because it makes a lot of sense that way. The first start, you want to begin some with like a bang and stuff. You have some bit of release like info upon certain games or some, or even like the gameplay of like different games. But yeah, Final Fantasy 16 demo being introduced inside the Summer Games Fest, it makes the most sense in that regards. It's less than a month since this game is going to be
yeah,
dropping, so
yeah. And they the game, I guess, there's a demo that was like found on the back end of the PlayStation Store. Um,
mhm.
so makes sense. And also, like Sony is, or PlayStation is one of the people on the docket that's like one of the partners for the showcase. Uh, so I would not be surprised if they're there. I'm trying to find the picture that has all of the um, like all the publishers that are going to be there for it. Um, Sorry, but I don't know. I mean, these ones are like I think Summer Game Fest is like so hard. Like so was um like Game Awards and stuff like that in general because this is the one like third party like actual like third party like they're not a developer, they're not a publisher, they're nothing like that, like their own thing. So like anything is possible. Um so I don't
Yes.
know, I mean like first of all, like how excited are you for this thing? Are you feeling pretty pumped? Are you like kind of man's expectations or what?
I'm in the middle. I'm honestly in the middle of all this because I really don't know what to expect for them other than like what you've just initially stated, the gameplay stuff from Mortal Kombat 1 being one of the things. Then like obviously, the whole hype surrounding the whole potential Final Fantasy 16 demo release stuff like that. So I'm kind of like in the middle of everything because it's like there are plenty of things I do want to see go through, but at the same time, most of the stuff that I'm looking forward to are pretty much first party anyway, and that could be satisfied by Microsoft come like next, not this coming Sunday, but next
Yeah.
Sunday. So it really, it really is kind of a weird period because, like you just stated before, inside that initial that award show and stuff last December and stuff, we really didn't really know what we were
Yeah.
getting ourselves into anyway in terms of like like announcements, game releases and stuff. And this is definitely that similar type of period. So I think the thing that's most consistent here is people's expectations. They are just all over the
Yeah.
place. You know.
Yeah. I feel like I do a decent job for myself personally as like keep myself in check with these because like you like I think Game Awards get more excited because like I think we've had more hits there. Like Summer Game Festival, like I think this is the third year, maybe fourth year that we're doing it, and like they can be pretty hit or miss. Like it's definitely one of those cases. Like, I, I'll give Jeff Keighley props because like I like people like to shit on Jeff Keighley. I mean, it's video games, it's well, the world in general, but video games, in our world, people love to shit on things. It's like I never like get it. Like people like celebrate the death of E3, and it's like why? Like it's an awesome week event. People like shit on the Game Awards. It's like the fun thing that it's an award show with we get some cool announcements in. Like why are we mad about
Mhm.
this? Um, but I don't know, like you said, like I'm not like super like going crazy. Oh, anybody, like I'm definitely excited to see this. Like I think it's good. By the way, we will not be doing a live reaction because both of us will be at work. But even if we were home and able to do a live reaction, These shows are just very long. They're like 2 hours.
Yes, they
There's
are.
just a lot of downtime in these things, so it can be kind of tough sometimes on these. That's why we when it comes to like the Game Awards, we don't do them because they're very long shows. There's a lot of downtime, so they are hard. I think by people do live reactions to this ones. Like these are the hardest one. Like it's like sometimes you get like the bad ones where like, but there's like a lot of announcements that they're bad. Like those there's those ones, and then there's like the ones that are awesome. Like those ones are easy to do live reactions to. But they're just boring or there's just a lot of downtime. I don't know. I think it's really hard.
Right.
But so yeah. But so I found the list here, Gables. Of the people, over 40 partners. Activision, the only thing I can think of
Hmm.
is that Crash Bandicoot uh, MOBA game, and then Call of Duty. Those are the only two things I can think for that. I believe he had Call of Duty. He had
Probably.
Call of Duty last year, so I could see maybe they announced Modern Warfare 3 there. I'm not gonna go through everything here because there's like a lot of small indie developers and stuff like that. They could be have anything. Bandai Namco was there. Um, I know they're making. I believe it's Synduality. That's that mech game. Uh, so
Yeah.
maybe that's the game that was like originally at the State of Play last year. But I don't know what I don't know Bandai Namco's. They're making a Pac-Man game or something. I don't know. Uh, Capcom's gonna be there. Um, maybe a Street Fighter Six thing because they had Street Fighter Six last year. The last 2 years they've had Street Fighter
They
Six.
did.
Uh, so maybe
They did, but I'm not too sure whether or not like say we're gonna see more like Street Fighter Six in like collaboration with anything like really substantial during the Summer Games Fest. I mean, granted, they've already had a lot of like advertisements for like before launch and also in terms of like the game launching and everything else and stuff. They've already got things set for like their season one stuff, plus even for like their announcements for like their whole like their Capcom Cup series and stuff. I
yeah.
mean, if there's anything remotely Capcom related, it's got to be either because of like Dragon's Dogma 2
Mm, yeah.
potentially. I could see that being something of the sort. I mean,
Pragmata.
hell, like
Maybe that's
maybe Pragmata. I mean, we've heard nothing since it's a release trail, since it's like its initial conception
in 20
trailer
June
that they
2020. Yeah.
yeah, June 2020. That's the last time we've heard
Three
of
years. Yeah,
Pragmata,
that's
and we
crazy.
still don't know what the hell this game is. They could be going to that freaking dinosaur game,
Exo
that
Primal.
they'll
That's a good point. I was thinking about that for the Xbox
Exo
show. It's
Primal
July 14th.
X
So
yeah, so that's probably the number one game they're going to give us the most information about because of how close it is to its
yeah,
launch.
that's a good point. Yeah, I was just thinking like maybe like if we have we seen any gameplay for the season pass characters at all?
Let's see. Gameplay for the season pass characters. No, we've only seen the initial revealing of which
Okay.
characters, which are mostly returning characters like Rashid. Then we have like a brand new character that kind of looks like a vampire lady and stuff. Then it's like we got, I think we got another like new character as well. But then we have Akuma. That's kind of like an older version of like Akuma as we have seen him
Mm,
before. But other than that, though, I mean, we haven't seen any type of gameplay footage of these characters. So, you do have a point where we could see something like Street Fighter 6 related, but it probably could be like the gameplay of the first character, which, that passed, which could be Rashid,
yeah.
the character trailer from there.
Yeah. It could be something like that, or it could just be sometimes like they'll post. It could just literally be a trailer reminding you that this game is out. Could be one of those
Yeah.
things too. So it could be the same thing for Activision, where it's just literally a trailer for Diablo 4. Um,
Oh, plus that character is actually supposed to be releasing fairly soon, if I'm
yeah,
not mistaken. I
yeah.
mean,
I mean, he's last year he revealed one of the fighters at the Summer Game Fest, so that could be
mhm.
there. CG Project Red, we know Phantom Liberties are going to be there. Um,
I kind of wonder if Konami's going to be there.
no, there is
Okay.
definitely beef between those two. So I would not,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, definitely not going to be there. Um, Disney is on the list.
The Mickey Mouse game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that Mickey Mouse game. You're right. I didn't think about that. That could be there. I was thinking. I think this is like wishful thinking. They're like they announced there's a Captain America game with last year. Possibly EA is supposed to be there as well. Um,
Hmm.
EA may have. Ooh, Skate.
They could have potentially Skate, but who knows, man? I mean, I know I recognize that could be a possibility, but that was a conception that they were talking about when it first was like revealed that they were going to be making another Skate game, like Skate 4 or
Yeah,
whatever the
they've
hell.
had like some developer stuff since then though. And they've had like some betas, like very early, well,
Well,
like more like alphas. So, um,
we could be seeing like a beta
I think that was
reveal for Skate,
2020 that the game was revealed. So it's been
and now it's
yeah.
2023,
But
so
they said they were gonna make it. I don't think they officially even started working on it when they announced it. So
it's true.
yeah. Um, I don't know. Maybe that's too crazy. Oh, it's probably just a commercial, another commercial for that Immortals of Avium game, though. Actually, now I think about it, because that's coming out in
Oh
July.
yeah, that's true.
Um, Epic is going to be there. Epic Games. I mean, it could be Rocket League, could be Fortnite for all we know.
Hmm.
Gearbox Publishing. I don't know what they're publishing. That's not. It's not Gearbox. It's their publishing partner. So, um,
Hmm.
let me see here. Oh, like Magic the Gathering's on the list. Netflix is on there. Could be Oxenfree 2 maybe. Maybe they
Hmm.
announced another game they're making. Niantic's going to be there. I know they're making. Niantic's
Hmm.
announced they're making another uh, game that's like Pokemon Go, but it's not Pokemon Go, so it could be something like that.
Right.
Uh, Phoenix Labs. I don't know. know that name, but I don't. Phoenix Labs. Is that the? 1 second here. Sorry. Uh,
I'm actually drawing a blank too. I really don't remember what Phoenix Labs actually goes through and create and puts
if
out.
that's the. Is that the people that made the? No, it's Dauntless. I'm sorry. What game was I thinking of? I'm
Oh.
thinking of that one game that was a PlayStation exclusive, came out a couple years ago, where it's like
Hmm.
it looks like a Disney Pixar game. Um,
Oh God.
'Cause
So it looks like a Disney Pixar game. It was like,
you had like the little
ugh.
tiny dudes that you would find throughout the game. Pix. Um,
I'll be perfectly honest with you, man. I'm gonna draw a blank with that.
I got. I'm trying to Pixar looking. I don't even know how to look like what to even look it up as. Here it is. Kina Bridge of Spirits. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh, that's right.
Who is the developer of that one? It's driving me nuts. I gotta know. Uh, Ember Lab. Okay, so I had the lab correct.
That's
The
Umberlab.
Phoenix Lab is the other people. All right, PlayOn's gonna be there. That's the Embracer Group people.
Okay.
PlayStation's supposed to be on the list, but
Hmm.
I don't know. What the fuck do they have coming out?
For PlayStation, they have Spider-Man 2 that's gonna be
Yeah,
coming out,
I think it's
but we've already just seen gameplay
yeah.
of it.
I'm trying to think of like, is there something soon that's first party that I'm not know? I think no. Um,
That's a good question. I don't think
yeah.
so.
Oh yeah. I mean, it could be something small. Could just be.
Could be something PC
Could be.
related.
Yeah. It's true. It's a good point. Yeah. Because they just announced. Well, you think they would save that for like they had just announced Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart's coming to PC. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't put that here
Right.
instead. Um, maybe they just have a trailer for like, hey, it's coming to PC. Um, yeah, you're right. I don't know what the fuck they got going on. Sega's supposed to be there. Um,
Huh.
no idea what they're doing. That
Hmm.
could be anything. Skies of Arcadia Legends remastered Gables confirmed. I'm
Could
confirming
be.
it myself.
It absolutely could be. It could be that. It could be something like, say, well, because Sega owns Atlas, I mean, it could be another tease for some Persona stuff related. I mean, who
Oh yeah,
knows?
yeah, maybe. What was that? So I sent you that thing of um fucking Persona
Well, the
T.
Persona, yeah,
I don't know if like anything. I don't know if anything. I saw that last night. I don't know if anything's come out today, but I heard some people like guessing it could be tabletop. Maybe I don't know.
that's I don't know. I mean, granted, it's something that a lot of people are guessing what it could be about. Only thing that we remember, like Persona 5, like related stuff that's come out this year is that mobile game plus the PC, like the PC. Yeah, it's that same game and stuff that was like from mobile and also PC and stuff that has some like gotcha game
Gotcha.
mechanics or something like that.
Okay. Um,
But usually, if they're teasing like anything Persona related and stuff, it's going to be some sort of a game announcement. But I'm not sure.
what was the 2D Sonic game everybody loved?
Oh, is that Sonic Adventure?
No, the
It's not Sonic
2D one
Adventure.
that
Ah,
came out like 2017. That was made by the
okay, Sonic
Sonic
Mania.
Mania. What if it's Sonic Mania 2?
Oh man, that'd be excellent. I mean, get Christian Whitehead involved in stuff, the creation of the things, and stuff, and actually, you know, put him in charge and just
Yeah,
make some crazy ass levels. I mean, I'd be all up for it. I love that
yeah.
Sonic
It's like,
Mania.
hey, everybody thinks we made a good Sonic game for the first time in 25 years. Should we make another one? Nah, it's crazy. Let's keep making 3D games.
And just make it the styling of Sonic the Hedgehog too.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess say that could be anything. Um, could be, did they? I'm trying to think of Fantasy Star Online. I don't fucking know. Uh,
Fantasy Star
remember,
Online.
remember, like 4 years ago, they announced that was coming to Xbox, and we haven't heard anything since. Um, Square Enix is supposed to be
Oh
there.
God.
Uh,
Okay, Square Enix is supposed to be there. I mean, there's definitely a couple things they could
Final
potentially
Fantasy
show at the
16.
Games
Oh,
Fest.
that's the demo we were just talking about.
Obviously,
Yeah.
yeah.
That could just be. I think
Um,
it's a demo.
there is one thing I could think of that Square Enix could potentially
Okay.
showcase, and it has something to do a long while ago with the Nvidia leak.
9.
Final Fantasy IX
What about
remastered.
Tactics?
It could also be tactics as well. I mean, I'm hearing rumblings, like reading and hearing a lot of the different rumors, though, that there is definitely a valid thing to where there could be an eventual showing of the Final Fantasy IX remake or
Yeah.
the Final Fantasy Tactics
Yeah,
remake.
I think at this point we know those are real because like that Nvidia leak has pretty much almost 100% at
Mm-hmm.
this point been true. Like more and more things over the years have just come out. That this thing is real. It's kind of like that Walmart Canada leak going into I think
Yeah.
the 2018 E3 where like 20 games got leaked and then pretty much all of them that like 2 weeks later at E3 were revealed. So uh,
Yep.
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that would be that would be a good get for
If we know that these games are real because it's Nvidia leak, then of course this could be an excellent spot to where they could unveil it in the middle of the summer's Games Fest and
yeah.
stuff, and get people overly excited for the next year.
Yeah, I do wonder though. Like maybe they're like just want to promote 16 until, and then maybe wait. Because like they already have Rebirth coming. They said this week that it's coming along fine, and they're just
Nice.
trying to pinpoint a date. So,
Oh shit.
honestly, Gable, selfishly, for my Game of the Year top 10 list, I just kind of want to put them out 2024 because I don't. This game's hard enough. This year's hard enough as it is. I don't need. I don't need this on top of it. This
There's been
coming
so
out in
many
like
good games so far this first 6 months of the year. It's been absolutely insane.
yeah.
And this end portion this year is kind of looking like the same thing as well is going on, give or take what else gets
Yeah,
unveiled.
yeah. The second half of the year is already looking pretty good, so we could take it easy. We don't need to add any more. So you can put it out January 1st. I'm told that'd be great for me. But if we could just put that, just please actually do that for me. Yeah, I think it's probably gonna be that 16 demo, most likely.
Yep.
If I had to make a bet on one thing, I think that's probably it. Um, Techland's gonna be there. I'm pretty sure that's just gonna be Dying Light 2.
Yep.
Uh, Probably some updates for that. Ubisoft will be there.
Hmm.
Um, Fuck man, Ubisoft could be anything. It's
Skull and
probably
Bones.
Skull and Bones. Yeah. Uh, could just be another Mirage trailer. Honestly.
Yeah, most
Uh,
likely it's Assassin's Creed Mirage. I mean, they're going to tout this thing as being, oh, it's a return to form, classic Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, like a lot of these studios that are doing their own thing, or like Square Enix, who is tied to PlayStation. A lot of these announcements, like I tend to lean like towards like the least like not want to say least exciting, but the most like plausible announcement because because I think like the big huge things they'll probably want to save for like their own or for Square Enix like they have a pretty seems like they have a pretty good partnership with them with PlayStation, so they probably want to save those big ones for them. So I think Ubisoft it'll probably just be like a Mirage thing maybe. Uh, Maybe they get some like pre-order thing for all we fucking know. Um, what was the dude from the first game? Was it Desmond? No. Desmond was
Yeah, it
from
was
Assassin's Creed.
Desmond.
No, that's
Well, I
Assassin's
meant
Creed.
Assassin's
Um,
Creed 1 was Altair, but yeah, it's like,
well, I'm thinking of the dude from the modern day that was Desmond.
oh yeah, modern day was
What
Desmond.
was
Yes,
the dude
absolutely.
from Watch Dogs? Man, he had like the most bland name of all time.
Oh God, I don't even
Named
remember the dude's name from the original Watch Dogs. Because, like you said, man,
Aiden Pierce.
oh, Aiden Pierce.
Aiden
Goddamn.
Pierce is gonna be in Assassin's Creed Mirage. It's still crazy to me that like they put out Watch Dogs Legion, and they thought a great DLC would just be adding Aiden Pierce to that game.
Oh
Like he's the most
God.
bland, boring character, the most generic Chicagoan ever. Um,
And you can take him out.
yeah, yeah. Warner Bros is gonna be there, which I'm assuming that's just Mortal Kombat One.
Yep.
Xbox will also be there, so I feel like something I could see like Ubisoft and Xbox though also because they have their own thing coming up in a few days later after this. Uh,
Yeah.
that maybe um they could show something off here, and then I always thought about like usually at E3s almost every year we would see like something happen like EA, like I said last week, EA reveals Anthem at
Hmm.
their showcase that hey tomorrow watch the Xbox showcase, we'll show you gameplay. I can see something like that maybe where like so there's some synergy here where they like show something here. It's like hey watch our showcase in a few days and we'll with more information on that thing. So
Oh, yeah, that's actually a good point.
yeah,
I'll tell you something that we probably wouldn't see from Microsoft here in Summer's Games Fest. Anything like
Redfall 2,
Legacy. What?
Redfall 2.
No, nothing. Oh my God, that'd be so hilarious. But no, we're not going to see anything like, say, Legacy related. We're not going to see like a Banjo-Kazooie. We're not going to see like a Killer Instinct or something like Rare related unless it has something to do with Sea of Thieves.
Oh
But
yeah, Sea of Thieves, yeah.
yeah, that's just the thing, though. I mean, what we will probably most likely see at a Summer's Games Fest is like maybe a little bit of updates from like certain content from some of the games that they've already like released this year. even though, even though that would be kind of also funny as hell too. Like just think about that they released Redfall, right? And it's like you had to believe that they had it probably something planned in regards to Summer's Games Fest to where it's like, okay, well, here's the DLC content, here's what you're gonna go through here, the next info, like the next upgrade, the next like
Yeah.
season pass stuff. But
Pirates of the Caribbean 2.
oh
Come to Sea of
God,
Thieves.
they could tease Perfect Dark though. I mean, that would
Oh,
be an interesting
they.
idea.
I mean, Xbox has always done a good. Has had up last year they did not, but they've always shown some good shit at the um with Jeff Keighley. Like they've had they revealed the Series X there. They revealed
Yes,
Hellblade 2 there. They showed
yes.
gameplay for Hellblade 2 there.
Hmm.
They revealed Perfect Dark with him. So they've got a good relationship. So like
Oh, absolutely.
Nintendo's on this list, but Nintendo like I don't know ever since Reggie retired, um
They
they've
really haven't had anything like
nothing.
concrete.
It's been like
Um,
trailers, like
it's been
commercials.
trailers like the Smash the Sephiroth trailer from
But that was
2020.
before. I mean, that was like the year he retired. I'm talking about like ads for like uh
Yeah,
the Mario Strikers game. I remember last year they had an ad for Mario Strikers, and that was all they had for Summer Game Fest. Um,
yeah,
so like I could see them, but Nintendo's on the list. So
dude. I'm
yeah,
not gonna expect much from Nintendo from Summer's Games Fest. I
no,
mean, they'll probably have an advertisement for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and that's it.
everybody's 1-2 switch.
Oh fuck, dude.
What if this is actually all a Ponzi scheme to get us to watch this thing for 2 hours, and it's just horse playing. We're all playing a game with horse from
Oh
everybody's 1-2
jeez.
switch.
Could you just imagine like the Summer's Games Fest or something like that? It goes on and stuff, and after that 2 hour period, it just zooms out, and you see like every bit of the Summer's Games Fest stuff. It's like this big old globe and stuff, and you have that freaking horse guy. It's on the horse mask and stuff like that. You're in the world of everyone's 1-2 switch.
Gables, what if we find out that somehow this whole show is actually just a thing, an advertisement for everybody's 1-2 switch, and
Oh
at the end of
God.
this press conference, the horse takes the horse head off. This whole time,
Uh-huh.
it was Hideo Kojima. It was Death Stranding 2 all along. Everybody's 1-2 switch is actually the 1-2 is actually it all forms together and somehow maneuvers around It's all like what's the like an acronym, not an acronym, but like we can move the words around. Uh,
Oh God,
for Death Stranding 2.
dude, I think that'd be absolutely hilarious. That
I wouldn't be mad.
oh God,
We all took the
they
blue
just
pill.
in order to try to get the game, those games like ported onto the freaking device. It's like, oh hey, we're just gonna call it everybody's 1-2 switch, and they just power it on. It's like, what? Death Stranding? What the fuck?
Yeah. It's like I remember like way years ago when the Blu-ray for Fight Club came out, and you
Yeah.
put the Blu-ray in the first 30 seconds. You remember like how like our like DVDs and Blu-rays had like main menus,
Mm-hmm.
and there'd usually be like a little song or something that like a little lead-in thing to them.
Yeah.
So the first 30 seconds of the Fight Club Blu-ray was actually the main screen from Never Been Kissed from Drew Barrymore. And it was like this 30-second loop of like that main menu. You're like, wait, what the fuck? And nothing works. And then it switches over to Fight Club. Like, I could just see Kojima. Like, I'm like maybe one of like 12 people that remember that because I was like one of like probably the few hundred that bought that Blu-ray of Fight Club and that remembers that. So maybe like he's one of like maybe you and I are the same in that way. Where like only you and I know that joke. And it's good. It's gonna be a joke for two, and I'm gonna love it. That's what I'm saying.
Oh God.
What do you think the
Oh.
odds are of? I mean, honestly, what do you think the odds are of percentage wise of Hideo showing up at this press conference with something?
Hmm. Well, let's see. It's Jeff Keighley's run thing. I would say a 60% chance.
Oh, okay. I mean,
I
because
I think it's a little bit higher than what some normal people would probably believe, but
so more likely than not.
it's more likely than not that we'll see something from Hideo Kojima,
Okay.
and I would suspect it's more information on Death Stranding 2.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, we know he's making the cloud game for Xbox,
Yeah.
Death Stranding 2 for PlayStation. He's making that smaller horror game that leaked
Uh-huh.
last year. So maybe we get that. But
And we
maybe we
haven't
get.
seen anything in regards to that yet, so that
Well,
could potentially be
we've
a
seen
thing.
some, but it was that weird reflection of that dude that was shirtless
Oh yeah.
recording the gameplay off his laptop. So we've got that. Never forget that, Gables. Um, yeah, but I think it's gonna wrap it up for that Summer Game Fest stuff there. But I'm super. I am excited for this. Like not like it is not like Nintendo Direct. I'm not. Honestly, I think I'm even more hyped in ways for the Ubisoft one, just because we have it. We kind of know what can be there, and maybe it's a fun announcement that could come out of it. So, um, it's kind of like the Summer Game Fest is a mystery box. So we don't know what's going to be there. But yeah, like if you want, like I said, at the top of the show, if you want some more predictions, Gables and I will be doing it for Xbox and Ubisoft. Come back, excuse me, later this week, and we will be so subscribe, all that stuff, and we'll have more for that. But let's get into. Is there any other news? Oh yeah, well, we got some other news this week. Some quick stuff here we can run through, Gables.
Okay.
Uh, we had some stuff here with Redfall. There were some we found out through Jason Schreier. There's a lot of development issues where the basically the team was kind of like the heads of this Arcane Austin, uh, basically just kind of forced like they wanted like, hey, we're gonna make a multiplayer game with Arcane gameplay, and when Bethesda was bought by Xbox or by Microsoft, they were hoping the game would get canceled, and Xbox noticed like could kind of tell that nobody was really passionate about this game, so it was kind of one of those games that was kind of dead on arrival, and unfortunately, about 3/4 of the staff that was there before the game was put in development is now gone. So
Mm.
um, I feel bad for Arcane Austin because that studio has had it's the redheaded stepchild of Bethesda. I could say that you can't. Uh, so because like you look at like Prey, like that game came out, Bethesda forced them to use that name they didn't want to. The game was they made them put the game out too early, and the game came out. It did not review well because it was super buggy. Uh, but over time they actually patched a lot. And I remember I played it at launch, and like, I just did not enjoy the game a lot, mostly because of the bugs. And the game was advertised as something completely different than what it was. They try to make it more like a action game than it's more of a I don't know, it's like a suspenseful kind of horror game in a way. I'd say it's closer to like a Half Life than it is like an action game. Uh, and yeah, so I feel bad for them. And then like I had to put the game out, and then now this game. So Uh, rough go there. There's been some rumblings. I don't take this for what you will, that there will be another PlayStation thing this year, whether it's a showcase or a state of play. We don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if it's a state of play. I would almost guarantee there's a state of play this year. But
Yeah.
as far as like a showcase, who knows? AEW Fight Forever finally has a release date. Gables, June
Yeah.
29th, coming up soon. I'm super pumped for this game. Um, I I'm not like expecting like a 90 on like on our Open Critic or something like that. This is a game I fully expect to like be like in the 70s, but honestly, that's all I really want. I just want this game to come out. It works well, and it's just fun to play. What about you, Gales?
Yeah, that's exactly my thoughts and feelings about it. I want this game to be good, and I want to actually go in and play and have a fun time doing so,
Yeah,
because this is the type of arcade style of wrestling game I've been waiting to pretty much try out ever since the days of the N64,
yeah.
and obviously ever since the days of the I used to play games on the GameCube and the PS2, like say with Def Jam and stuff, and
Oh
like
yeah,
oh
Def
god,
Jam.
yeah, the Def Jam
Fuck yeah,
Vendetta and like Def Jam 5 for New York. Those
great.
games were not initially supposed to be like wrestling games, but they were at their
Yeah,
core. Especially the first
yeah,
one. The second one was more of a fighting
yes.
game,
Oh my
but
god, yes.
the thing about the Aki Corporation back then, it's like they had great games that they made for the N64, like not just for like say New Japan, no, yeah, like New Japan stuff, Fire Pro Wrestling stuff, pretty much over like in Japan. Then like here, it's like WCW, like WWF stuff for like World Tour and like WCW NW Revenge, WrestleMania 2000, like No Mercy. No Mercy is the game that's still
Yeah,
relatively it's still coveted to this day because people love to use like just mod the game to make their own type of stuff. And then now we have wrestling games in this current year that are still trying to imitate and still trying to perfect what Aki Corporation did when developing No Mercy. And seeing how AEW Fight Forever takes a lot of cues from No Mercy, a lot of like homages to that thing, as well as like other types of wrestling games. I'm excited to see how this game will perform. I'm definitely going to be interested in seeing if this game's going to spark enough interest to get people that, like say if they just got off like finishing up like Tears of the Kingdom, or if they're getting kind of tired of like Street Fighter
yeah,
6 and they're wrestling fans, see if they want to dive in and try to play this. But I'm mostly fascinated to see if like AEW Fight Forever is going to take people away from like playing the latest WWE
yeah,
like 2K game and stuff, because that one actually got some decent
yeah,
scores and actually is a solid game from from a lot of people that I've watched YouTube videos of, plus reading some bits of the reviews itself. So how it's going to differentiate itself from that release and stuff is going to be the most interesting thing, because at the end of the day, I want a strong wrestling game competition between the two brands here, but I definitely would love it if AEW Fight Forever is just one of those wrestling games where you are playing it years from now. You're not just playing it once from like this whole initial set of the year and just forget about it on the back
yeah,
burner.
yeah. Like definitely, like that's like, I grew up. I was more of like I love No Mercy, but I was like definitely more of like a WF SmackDown, which was kind of the same thing, but on
Oh yeah,
PlayStation. And then like,
oh yeah, Smack That
yeah,
too. That
and then
was
like
fun.
Day of Reckoning games on GameCube. Love those games. I've not been a
Yeah.
big fan of the 2K ones they've been putting out for really the last like 12 or 15 years because it became more of a simulation than arcadey. I felt like, it's kind of like,
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
this feels like the almost like the NFL Blitz of like like kind of what that is for our NFL Street for like what that was for like NFL games or NBA Street, kind of like that. This is like the more arcadey, fun version, like wild shit. Did you see the shit you could do with the skateboard in this game, Gables?
I know, right? You can actually ride the
Yeah, like people were
skateboard
doing
and
like
just do
fucking
tricks on it.
kickflips from the floor into the ring. Uh, it's fucking wild. I think that I'm super hopeful. As long as the game just runs well, like it graphically, it does not look super
Hmm.
impressive at all. It looks fine, like it looks good, but it's not like nowhere near like modern day graphics. But like that is not what I want for this game. So,
Dude,
um, yeah,
I'll tell you what, you just gave me like an idea. What if you make a creative character and he just skates to the ring, or like even if you're playing as Darby Allin and stuff, you're skating towards the ring and stuff, and like say your opponent's like flat out like on his back or something, just do it. like a 360 kick flip over the ring and something to land on
Oh
someone's
my
nuts.
god, that'd be great. Yeah, that'd be an awesome like set that up as your finisher. Fuck yeah, I'm in for that. Um,
Set up as your finisher, just crashing through the tables. Like,
yeah,
ah!
I'm super pumped for this game. I'm waiting forever, and I'm happy to finally play it. Alone in the Dark is coming October 25th. Uh, oh, I thought the it showed some gameplay for that. Actually, looks pretty good. Um, it's just it is $60. So take that
Mm,
for what you will. PS4 2 has actually sold 600,000 units in the first 6 weeks. It's actually outpaced the PS4 1. I don't know what to do with that information, but that's what they put out there. We will wait and see Gables for that. And then last but not least here,
mm.
John Wick has a game in development. No idea who's making it or anything like that. Um, I was extremely disappointed with the last one that came out. Uh,
X.
yeah, it's like not a bad game, but it's like it is a more of a uh, not RTS, kind of like a I don't know, turn-based kind of game where like but you got the grid-based fighting kind of game. More like
Yeah,
more like that than I'm like just I've said forever. Just whoever made Max Payne 3, um, actually that's Rockstar.
that's Rockstar,
Fuck, you're
dude.
right. God damn it. Max Max Payne 1 and 2 are Remedy. They're all busy.
Yep.
Fuck, I'm fucked. Because I would just love it if they just like that crew just made a John Wick game because that's basically what John Wick is. It's just Max Payne,
Mm.
minus the devils and demons and all that shit. Uh, but yeah, god damn it, Gables, you're right. I'm never gonna get the game I want. That is like the match made in heaven game for me. But I don't know. There's always making a John Wick game. I hope it's just good. Um, and just rip off that. I'd be happy. But let's get into what we've been playing, Gables. I haven't done much, so is it
Mhm.
cool with you if I go first? All right,
Yeah, go
cool.
ahead.
I've been playing more Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I played a bunch on, and we talked last Saturday about it. I was like a little over 40 hours in, and I just completed the first area up in Rito Village. I played a bunch
Mhm.
Sunday and Monday, and I played for like an hour maybe today. Um, I did finish up. I'm a little over 50 hours in now. Um,
Yeah.
I did finish the Death Mountain area, um, and
Okay.
then I finished up the Zora's Domain. Sorry, I did finish that
Okay.
up, and I'm in the Gerudo. No, not Gerudo.
Yeah, the
Gerudo. Thank
Gerudo.
you.
Yeah.
I'm literally there. I was in a cutscene for uh, that was starting that area, and then I got the phone call, and I have no idea if the cutscene is even went through. I literally just turned the TV off and I left. So I have no idea what's going on. So that's where I'm at. I've done like 60 Koroks. I'm in the mid 60s for um, shrines. Right now I've just been
Okay.
focusing on like I'm trying to get a third wheel of stamina. I need one more shrine to get the third wheel of stamina filled up,
Right.
um, and then like I've got a bunch. The rest has been like I think I've got like 11 or 12 hearts because you get a heart every time you finish an area of like the main like the four the phenomenons or whatever. Uh,
Yes.
yeah. What else? There? I got um my all my like my clothing. I use like my main thing. I'm like my thing I'm working on. I'm I got like not the top one like level 4. I think I'm on like level 3 and all those. Like I think I'm at 32 now for my defense. So pretty good. Like when I get hit, obviously you fight some of the bigger enemies that they're gonna fuck you up. But like when you're fighting regular enemies, it doesn't do as much damage. Um, I think the music in this game is phenomenal. I talked about last week when my eyes welled up fighting the boss at the end of the Rito Village thing. I thought that music was fantastic. I think the music is good throughout, but man, they just go up like 10 notches in this story part.
Hmm.
So if you're like someone that's like not doing that, like if you're not planning on doing any of that, like you're just gonna like eventually beat the game without doing that. The best parts of this game, I always my feeling was like my big issue with Breath of the Wild was like the the main like all of the guardians and going to all the divine beasts was like the worst part of that game. I just thought those they weren't very good. The boss fights were just kind of the same boss fights over again. The area you're in wasn't very fun to do, and they like I said, this game just feels like they did a great job of like they they built upon the things that people loved about the first game, of like just
Right.
exploring and of the world and all that. But like the biggest pain points, the biggest things that people didn't like, they fix like for like people like me, they fixed all like pretty much all of those issues or made them a lot less painful. Like now they're just like a
Yeah.
minor gripes instead of like, you know, you know, big enough gripes that like not to like make me hate the game, but like enough to like I love the game, but like I can see it's great, but it's like it didn't like I didn't love it in the way that other people did, kind of thing. Uh, but yeah, like I think the music is phenomenal in those parts. I thought that boss fight in Death Mountain was awesome. I will say that the boss fight in Zoro's Domain um, was the first time where I'm like I was like getting frustrated with the way the game was running. Like there's been like frame drops here
Mm.
and there throughout the game where like a lot of shit's going on. But
Right. Right.
that boss fight in Zoro's Domain ran like shit. I don't want to spoil it, but a lot of things are happening on the screen in that fight, and it just kills the frame rate. So I was that was a very frustrating boss fight, just because of the frame rate. Like it's a boss fight where like the I was never in any danger of dying, uh, but I was just frustrated because like I could not do the thing I needed to do because it ran so poorly. So that was the first time
Mm.
in like 50 plus hours. So, like I said, minor gripes here. Like at this point, like I like it's frustrating enough to mention, but it's not like gonna kill this game for me. But I will say that for me. But like I just got the Death Mount or the Gerudo Village part, working on that, um, and I'm hoping to get it finished up before Final Fantasy 16. That's kind of my goal at this
Mm.
point. No idea how much longer it's gonna take me. What's gonna get there? Because like I played today for a little bit, and I was like, I'm gonna just go straight there. Like I literally Monday night, last time I played, I beat Zero's Domain, and I turned the game off, and then I booted up this morning. I was like, all right, I'm gonna focus on Gerudo Village, and on the way there, I ended up finding like three or four other things. I beat a couple shrines. I got in a fight with the big dude. I accidentally found the temple, that's like that you're supposed to go to at the end of this thing. I'm assuming because like the gate is there, but it won't let you enter. So I'm like, okay, so I beat the shrine where that is. So I'm like, oh, okay, it's here. So I can like once I eventually do all the other stuff I have to do to get to that part, like I could just go there now. So I thought it was kind of funny. I found that before I was supposed to. Uh, which wasn't it's not a design flaw. It's just that something you can do in the game. So yeah, I've done that. So yeah, I love this game. It's one of the best games of all time. No doubt about it. But yeah, that's all I've been playing, Gables. What about you?
Well, I have been playing more of Tears of the Kingdom. I did when initially I was talking with you last time here. I got to the point where I was at the Wind Temple alongside of
Yeah.
with like the little Rito kid and stuff. And yeah, I did clear out the Wind Temple. It definitely was pretty much an interesting change of pace because throughout that whole entirety of that temple and stuff, you're trying to power on the little turbines and stuff with his wind ability and all this other stuff. So after initially I did that, it took me a little bit to find the last two because they were kind of hidden
Mm.
well, and I had to check out my map and try to navigate things around a little bit differently on this main pad. But once I got everything else all set into place and stuff, that boss battle was actually a kind of a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be because when you initially set off into the boss battle, when it initially like starts happening, you're in the sky, right? And like this monster is like literally like right in front of you and stuff. It'll zoom like right towards you, and you have the option to dive and stuff to try to get down lower. But when I started doing that initially, I realized there was these little orbs and stuff that looked like I could
Yeah.
shoot. And so once I got to that point, I froze in midair, like right almost underneath him, almost dead center. I was able to take out at least one of his orbs or some at a time. I ended up having to replay this boss battle, I think, a couple different times because I kept dying because, well, mistiming. I'd run out of arrows.
Wait. So you were hitting with arrows?
Yeah. Yes, I was.
This is funny. I didn't shoot him with a single arrow. You want to know how I beat him? I
How did you
just
beat him?
dove through his weak points.
You dove
Yeah,
through
so
his
you hit the
weak
R button, you
points.
can dive. I would just
Uh
right before
huh.
I get there, I would dive through his weak points and would destroy him.
I. Oh my god, I didn't even know
Yeah,
you could
I
do
didn't know you could
that.
shoot him with arrows. That's so fucking cool.
What's hilarious about it what's hilarious about it is the boss battle starts right, and then I dive down, I go in midair, and I just like started shooting the arrows. I equipped on the fire fruit with the arrows, and so I was able to do like I eventually ended up like breaking down his shield because if you shoot him with regular arrows, it takes like two of them to take out his main ice shield for this one thing. So with the fire fruit, it's
Wait,
like
you could
one
destroy
shot,
the ice
it
shield?
breaks up the ice.
I had no idea you could
Yes,
do that.
those three portions.
I had no idea.
Those three portions, Tyler, they're covered
Yeah.
in like little things of ice. So you equip an ice, like a fire element into it. You go and you take out the initial point, and then you shoot him with the arrow again, and that breaks that initial thing. So that's why I started. I had to repeat the boss battle a couple different times because I kept running out of arrows. What's funny, the last time, the when I finally beat him, I did initially run out of arrows, but I was like at the one last hit before he was dying, and so I had to travel all the way back down
Ah,
onto
that
the
sucks.
initial ship. And then I noticed out of the corner of my eye there was a frozen patch, and I freaking was able to burn this thing, and it had a freaking chest of arrows, and I fucking
Oh,
caught that,
okay.
and I killed the boss.
So I would he if you don't destroy the shield, he shoots all
Hmm.
the spikes out at you. So
Yeah.
I just like avoided them as I was gliding down, and then once they all went by me, I would die through his weak point.
Oh, I
Yeah, that's
see.
so fucking cool. I
Huh.
had no idea that any of this that you could
The
do that.
fact that you had an entirely different experience with this boss battle that I did, because I thought it was rather obvious that like you see these little things underneath there, and you're like, oh, okay, I can shoot at those things. I'm gonna see that, but no, you just dove
Yeah, I
right
just
front and
dove.
center.
I was like, I just like okay, like I just assumed that was the way. That's so fucking funny.
Oh my gosh!
Have you done the
But
Death Mountain yet? One?
the Death Mountain, I haven't gotten to Death Mountain. No, I spent my entire last couple of days playing Tears of the Kingdom with its there was a couple things I wanted to set forth. One was finishing up the initial Wind Temple and getting the ability that Avatar
Yes.
ability and stuff. And you're right though, that song that plays at the end of that temple,
Oh,
that's the remix version of like Dragon Roost
is it
Island and
okay? So I
stuff
was
from
right.
Wind
That's
Waker.
awesome. Okay, cool. I just
Yeah, I remember that song fairly well. But I wanted to try to fight Hestu, right? And I went to that initial area,
yeah
right? He wasn't there. And so I checked YouTube videos, I checked everything else, like, what's going on? It's like, until one of them mentions, like, sometimes he'll spawn in a different location or something based upon certain conditions you've already
huh
done. So I never went through and faced those trees and stuff when you first initially encounter him in the
yeah
forest. He was already inside
the
of the
lookout
freaking
landing.
lookout
Okay,
landing.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
So I tried to look out landing. I did invest my Korok seeds. I expanded some bit of my inventory stuff, so I was happy with that. But then there was another secret that I found out, and it was at Lookout Landing. So when I went looked
Yep,
down,
I know what you're talking about.
there is a side quest. Okay, basically the lady inside there was sweeping so hard that she broke an initial wall covering like a secret door. So I go through there, and it allows you to go forth, and then it has the things where you have like pieces of weapons and stuff like the rusty broadsword or something like that equipped it onto a rock to use it with a rock, break through that initial patch. Then you come across this statue that looks like the reverse of like one of the
Hmm.
prayer angels, but instead it's an interesting statue to where if you pray to it, it'll allow you to switch the heart and the stamina stuff, give or
Yeah,
take. The first time it'll be like a free type of thing, like it'll take away one of your hearts or something like that. But once you continue on with another like conversation and stuff, you'll actually like not only get that same heart back and stuff, but it's a specific type of cost in order to switch between things. So, for example, if you were doing something to where if you need a certain requirement for like your stamina or your hearts or something, if you have a lot of one, you could switch it basically to that next one based upon like say 100 rupees or something like that or
yeah.
120 if you want the same things back. I kind of like that aspect of it because it gives more of a challenge for those that want to do a speed run of, like, say, just doing the 3 heart challenge and stuff, and then like switching things up when they have to get through a certain point of the game, and
Yeah,
then do that back and whatsoever. But yeah, I went through Hestu, went through the friggin' Wind Temple. I also finished a couple more shrines and stuff, but dude, it's been mostly just exploring. Dude, I want to go through and I want to explore. I wanted to try to get more of that stuff done and stuff,
yeah.
and that's mainly what I have been doing for
I,
Tears of
I
the
do want to say real
Kingdom.
fast before we move on though.
What?
So I can't wait to hear what you do with the Death Mountain temple
Okay.
because I there's a way you're supposed to do this. Uh,
Uh,
and I just used long bridges for this entire fucking area, and I totally just like flew through this whole section that you're supposed to do in the Death Mountain Temple. Okay, I can't wait for you to play that part because I can't wait to talk to you about it because it was
okay.
so fucking. Once I learned, I'm like, wait, this is just way fucking easier. So I just did that. But yeah, that's that. It's God. This game is so cool. I can't believe the way we just fought the like that first boss area. That's awesome. But go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's just the thing, man. It's like when you're going through a game, especially a Zelda game in the past and stuff. I mean, you're gonna go through like the initial say, like the way that the developers intended you to go through
yeah,
that. I mean, you're not going to experiment or do something incredibly crazy or something. But through Tears of the Kingdom here, you had a different experience of fighting that boss than I did. I used arrows, you used your dive attack.
yeah,
And we pretty much came
yeah.
across the
You
same
use arrows. I
solution.
use my head. Literally, just rammed it right through a fucking flying creature.
But yeah, I'm still happy about it. I know I'm going to be tackling the Goron section fairly soon. But other than that, though, I've been playing Street Fighter 6. I decided to get it on the launch day of it. I actually bought the game and installed it like an hour before the game launched on PS5. So for the West Coast, it was already like 9 o'clock. So I had a chance to play it before release.
West Coast, Best Coast.
But oh my gosh, let me tell you something. This game is fucking smooth. I mean, the controls of it, the online play of it is relatively interesting. It's relatively interesting because it's like because of the rollback netcode and everything else that is along with it. Even if someone like is using like a Wi-Fi connection, you're not going to get too much issues with it unless they're like extremely far away, right? But I had a chance to play a few matches online. Didn't have really too much any issues. Like maybe a little hiccup here or there, in like one or two rounds or something of like 3 different matches or something. But nothing like readily like not like groundbreaking or like crazy, But what I'm really liking though, I'm liking the world tour mode, that single player mode. It is basically like a role playing like fighting game to where you're going along this open world sort of like a thing, like say in a Yakuza game to where you're fighting different people, you're encountering the different like story elements and stuff. You can actually go up to random people and stuff. You can choose to either okay, you can request to fight them, or you can go and just do like a shoryuken or like a freaking spinning bird kick and just knocking them on their ass or something like that. But you earn all sorts of experience and money and all sorts of these points. You're constantly leveling up because you're getting so much battle experience that there will be times if you have met specific Street Fighters and were able to like learn their arts and stuff, then yeah, you're able to go forth and like learn a bit of their abilities and like it's you can actually build up like social relations with them too. So it's sort of like a cue from like the Persona stuff to where that's just initially of that stuff. But yeah, if you could just talk here for a minute, Tyler, I'll be right back.
All right, give us that walkway. Man, let's go back to Tears of the Kingdom for a second. That is so cool. Just the way that we handle those boss fights. I will say though, I spent a few hours in the depths that everybody's talking about. Um, and I'm not blown away by them. I gotta admit. I just like it's dark, it's spooky, like there's a lot of fights down there, but it did not blow me away like I was expecting. Um, and I was down, like I said, I spent a few hours down there. I'm like, eh, and I kind of just left. Just having a great time, like mess with the Sky Islands in the main area itself. I've talked about I've done all the towers. I got those a long time ago. I did all the tower. I spent like 40, like I said, I spent over 40 hours in this game before I even started the main quest area. Um, I love the story. I love where it's going with like this whole idea of like where's Zelda and like all the weird shit that comes along with it. But yeah, just a man, what a phenomenal game. I can't not think of this game as a game of the year. But Gables is back, so
Yep.
Gables, continue on, buddy.
But like I was saying, man, World Tour mode is really interesting. You're starting off as like a rookie fighter and stuff, battling your way through, learning a whole bunch of different things from the various Street Fighters, using their styles, leveling up abilities, learning all these various moves. And what's really interesting though, it's also wedged in the middle of like you compete like against like a this evil organization and stuff like that. Plus, there's the Mad Gear Gang that are remnants of that old enemy force or something from the original Final Fight. So you have like remnants of that gang and stuff, and a couple other different like gangs or something inside this game that you're fighting against and stuff to level up and do this other stuff. There are other types of collectibles that you can go forth and collect, like little bits of inventory, little bits of like soda cans and stuff to increase, like, to replenish your health or this or that. I mean, granted, there are some things that were kind of bare bone with it, but yet it's really fun just to pick a fight or something and then just like finish them off in the span of like maybe not even like a minute or something and then go on to the next. It's not really much of a grind. It's more like it introduces enough things to where you're more engaged in wanting to tackle it. Like for example, I'm in Metro City and stuff starting off, but then I can go to a place like say Brazil to go say talk with Blanca or something like that and try to like like do his initial like intro sequence and stuff and learn his fighting style. Or I can go to England and stuff and maybe like fight against Jury or something like that because of another story plot element or something, or even go off to oh god, Jamaica and stuff, and just like dance with DJ and stuff like that, and learn his style. It's just crazy bonkers, and it's the stupid type of funny that makes this game much more enjoyable because the creative character that I made is like he's basically like a gigantic triangle dude to where he's like just like the top heavy and stuff, and all of a sudden his waist and everything else is like just tiny like nubs. And so when he's just like running about and just doing spinning bird kicks, it's just really funny because you have this dude like with Popeye arms and stuff like that, like skinny, like small hands and all this other stuff, just kind of looking like this or something. But he's like literally doing like this strong
Ah,
ass
ta, 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 ta,
punches
ta,
and
ta, ta.
stuff. Yeah, quite essentially, man. But some of the most fun I've had with this game so far has been experimenting with specific characters I'm familiar with. For example, Ryu. I love playing as Ryu. He has a bunch of other new stuff added on to him, other than his Hadouken, his Shoryuken, and stuff. But he has a couple more setups and stuff that you can lead into that makes it a little bit that makes it a little bit more complex for him, in terms of building on like combos and stuff. I did try his combo trial stuff. I went into the intermediate stage. I think I'm at the last bit of the intermediate stage before I get into the hard combo stuff that the developers intended you to try out with to try to get more familiar with him. But I'm now more familiar with how to parry stuff, how to do like the whole like super like counter stuff. The drive cancel stuff is kind of interesting because it's almost like with Street Fighter 4, where you basically held two buttons and then just try to tap the. You basically try to use this focus cancel thing and then try to cancel that in Street Fighter 4. It's sort of similar to what the drive cancel is here for Street Fighter 6, to where you just basically hold a couple buttons, you just tap the run button, and then you have this green little hue or something that'll pop on, and then you can just try to combo into a couple different moves and stuff. So the setups can be really engaging when you're trying to experiment with, okay, this will work like this. So what happens if I do like this over the top like uppercut or something and combo into this, It's the game does a better job of explaining how to play as these particular fighters. It also does a better job of keeping track of, okay, what are the inputs I'm doing wrong in so I'm not executing the combo like I should. You have the options to tailor make it to where you'll know how long a charge goes, like how what type of button inputs you're going to go forth and use. Like you can it just all these options to read and like study what you're doing wrong so you can improve and better yourself. It's second to none. All of these accessibilities inside of this game to make newcomers and also veterans alike learn new things in order to try to make themselves better while playing this game. It's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. And you can take a lot of that stuff either to arcade or even to the battle hub stuff. You can play some ranked battles if you choose to. But because of how well this plays, it makes me want to try more than just Ryu. It makes me want to try, like, say, well, maybe Luke or something like that, or Chun Li, or even go through play as Kimberly or JP or something like that. It has that feel like what some of the better Street Fighter games had, which was I want to play every single character, I want to learn their ins and outs. Street Fighter 3 Third Strike was the last one that I played that had me wanting to do that. I play that game over and over, depending upon playing characters like Ryu or Alex or maybe a little bit of Yun or Yang or Akuma and stuff. But that fun accessibility stuff and that complexity while maintaining a lot of familiarity and in terms of getting things easier into, a bridging into something more complicated. Yeah, that's what made Street Fighter 3 Third Strike fun for me. It feels like that with Street Fighter 6 to where I feel almost the exact same thing where I'm having so much fun playing with as these characters as well as fighting against opponents because they're pretty much at that same point with me right now to where it's like I'm just learning this new game, this new system, these new ways to how to do things. And man, I had matches inside the beta to where I started understanding these systems a little bit better. I started performing well and taking out people that were kind of like, okay, maybe I'm on my level, maybe like a little bit below or something like that, but I'm starting to distinguish myself from the initial beginner that I was. But the reason I'm able to do that is because of how accessible it is for me to learn how to execute these things. Because one of the bigger complaints from, say, Street Fighter 5 was people didn't want to try to invest time inside of this game that were casual people because they see all these hard ass combos that were not able to go forth and do. That was one of the complaints, other than the other complaint being lack of content on the release of Street Fighter 5, because that was more like it was more like a full $60 release and stuff, and it was so bare bones that they literally had like free updates up until like season two when they had like Akuma and stuff like that, and all this other paid for content that was like what $30 or something. But Street Fighter 6 is chock full of a lot of extras, a lot of content in general. You can go through and play the single player mode and get a lot out of that. You can go and play online, get a lot out of that too. Hell, if you really don't feel like fighting or something like that, you can go and spend time in their little arcade cabinets to play their classic like Capcom games and stuff from days long ago and stuff. There are so many options for this game. This is what makes Street Fighter 6 such an interesting experience because it's doing stuff that fighting games of today or even from then just never did, and that's making it more not just accessible, but just making it more of a complete experience in the modern time, in the modern age. But yeah, I would definitely suggest if somebody had an inkling for a little bit of fighting games or some, or if they're on the fence about it, dude, you need to go for and pick up Street Fighter 6 because if you're gonna buy one fighting game this year, Street Fighter 6 is going to be the one because you'll find something, you'll find a fighter that you're going to want to play. You're gonna be able to experiment and just know what you're gonna do with your time and stuff. And yeah, this is definitely one of those type of games to where it kind of feels like how like a Madden or like an NBA thing where you'll play it throughout the entire year
Yeah.
and stuff and still get a lot of good access on content from.
Uh,
So yeah, that's what I've been playing this
no,
week.
awesome. Like I said, I've been tempted by this game. So the single player stuff sounds really really cool. So I might
Mm.
pick this one up actually. But I think that will wrap it up for us this time. If you're enjoying this, we will be back in a few days. We're gonna record it right after this. But for you guys, it'll be a few days later. We're gonna do a Xbox and a Ubisoft prediction podcast. So come back, like I said, like, follow, subscribe. Look in those show notes down below with the links to all those things. But yeah, do all that, please. But I was Tyler.
And I've been Colonel Gables, so until next time, everyone, play some fun games. Hell, play Tears of the Kingdom, play Street Fighter 6, even play Diablo 4 if you feel like it when that
Yeah.
comes out. But most importantly of all that, thank you for listening to another fun-filled episode of the Drunk-Nerds
Any
podcast.
Gables?
Yep,
Sweet.
too
Bye,
sweet, man.
guys.
See ya.